We're going to start off by heading into the folder Annika Soccer Field. And I'm going to press Command plus and then Tab so that I have a larger view of the thumbnails. Command minus maybe so I can see all of them in one view. Command T will get rid of the titles of those thumbnails. Let's open up this image. It's titled Annika Soccer Field 04.psd. And press F to go to full screen view mode. Now, this is a really cute photograph of Annika, yet there's a problem. The highlight in the hair is just too hot. We need to bring that down. So how are we going to do that? Well, there are a couple different ways that we can do that. One way is to go to Select Color Range and to select these highlights. Click OK. And then press Command J and change our blend mode to multiply. That will bring those highlights down quite a bit. Then what we need to do is create a mask, and we need to clean up the edges because the edges got a little bit funky on this one. So I'm just going to paint with black around the edges here. Here's my before and after. Just bringing these highlights down just a bit, and then we'll get them even better here in a second. All right, that's decent for our first pass. Let's make this look even better. We're going to create a new layer, grab our clone stamp tool, and take our blend mode to darken, lower our opacity. Opacity somewhere maybe around 40% I think will actually work pretty well. And what we want to do is just begin to bring in a bit of darkness here. The nice thing about the blend mode of darken is that it's trying to find pixels that are brighter and bring those down and not affect the other pixels. So we can see we're getting just some nice texture there. We're not getting the repeating patterns that you typically get when you're using the clone stamp tool. That's maybe a little bit too much for us, but we can modify that. Let's look at our before and after on that one. That looks pretty nice. And one thing we can do here is try a blend mode of multiply as well. Of course, we need to fix up our edges on this, create a mask with a paintbrush. We can soften those edges. Before I do that, I might as well lower the opacity a little bit, see how this thing is going. And let's look at our before and after. We've definitely brought that down, which is really nice. And you know, as I look at this, I'm thinking, you know what? I might just go with my normal blend mode and take that mask off. I think that might even look best. I might have been trying too hard on that one. You know, that looks pretty good. Finally, I have a curves adjustment up here, and I want to apply a little curves adjustment and maybe just lower the opacity just a tad bit on this to blend that back in. It's okay if we have a little bit of shine in the hair. We just don't want it as hot as it was. Here's our before and then after. Much better image because there isn't a bright hot spot distracting us from the focus of the image, which are her two beautiful blue eyes. It would also be nice to bring down this hot spot on the nose, wouldn't it? We'll do that real quick. Shift Option Command N and clone stamp. S is the shortcut for the clone stamp. And then take our opacity down just a little bit. Try different blend modes. I'm going to see what multiply looks like, soft light. I don't think it's going to do much for me. Yeah, but it's going to be normal. So go back to my normal blend mode. And dial that in just a little bit. Just taking that down a tad bit, and that wraps up our work on this image.